country. The nation demands your devotion. Let us all unite to uphold her and make her great and strong. We are all involved. We are all involved. We are all involved in building our motherland. Please, thank you. Let's have a seat. Now, how do you feel? Do you feel you are involved? Do you believe we're going to build our motherland and make it great, strong, and prosperous? The money is very important because we have a lot of good. Right. So my name is Joshua Pukwajiman. I'm the co-founder and president for the IoT Network Hub. Before I started IoT Network Hub, I co-founded my first startup at the age of 19 called Prosperous. So after high school, I had skills, and then I started my first company. 7 years ago, we had a vision of the future, and our goal was to bring young people together, develop their talents using new technologies so that we can solve problems we face on the continent. Last year, I took up the office of the president for Ghana's STEM network. And if we're going to make change, as Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon that we can use to change our world. So I took up that position so that we can ensure that every student in Ghana and on the continent have access to practical learning. We've all seen what the children employment is happening to us, leading to intervention, innovative intervention, such as the Unemployment Association, Graduate Association, or whatever they call themselves. Very innovative intervention, which was created because we have a lot of problem with employment. Right. I also started Redacity, an organization that inspires young people to read for knowledge. In our generation, if you're not constantly learning, reading, you'll be missed out. And these are the challenges we face as young people of Africa, and the need to have this goal or dream that we had. So you can connect with me on the various platforms, on LinkedIn as Joshua Pukwajiman. I'm on Twitter, on Facebook and IG, and on WhatsApp with this number. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Joshua Pukwajiman, and I'm unstoppable. Right. Now imagine a new Africa. An Africa where we stand at the forefront of technological innovation. We've been there before. If you go back to history, that's who we were, but we lost that. Now I want you to imagine that kind of future where we are sitting at the forefront of technological innovation and advancement, like the likes of Wakanda in movies, that we want to make it a reality. Addressing its most pressing challenges, we're faced with a lot of challenges, we all see them. I'm sure coming back from home to this place, we went through a lot of potholes, about 1,000 of them, if you should count them. Right? These are all challenges we face. We have food that we are not able to produce enough to feed ourselves. It's also a challenge. We're dealing with flooding. When it rains, I'm not sure it had really rained for the past 3 days, just a little drizzling. Or you saw our roads, our communities. These are all challenges we face that if we're going to be able to address it, we need to be able to reimagine a new future without all these problems. I also want to see or imagine a future where Africa is contributing a lot to the development of the world as a whole. There's something interesting about Africans that we should know. And it could also be a powerful tool to advantage that if you're able to understand and leverage on that, someday, or maybe, or who knows, that could help us be able to deal with the challenges we face in the world, or probably taking over the world. If you look at African population growth, this has been the trend for population growth in the world at the moment. Asia started rising and then rose, and today Asia is a superpower when it comes to the world. Economics, technology, science, you name them. Now the good news is they are falling down. If we look at the light blue, that's America, the North America, they've been flat. Look at the purple, Europe. Europe too is going down and down. If we look at the green as the Latin America and the Caribbean, they've also went a bit, and then came down. Now look at the red devil. That's us. We are rising. And what does it mean for us? What it means is that by 2050, we're going to have the largest population in the world, with more than 60% of our population being youth under 25. 25 years youth population are going to be requesting for a lot of jobs. So today, if you are complaining about jobs, we're going to have a billion more, 1.2 billion more adding to our population. At the moment, we have about 1.5 billion. By 2050, we're going to have 2.5 billion. So we're going to have a billion more lives joining our continent. It means our problems are going to maybe triple or double or times X, 10X or 100X, who knows? It all depends on what we do now to ensure that it doesn't happen. If you're also looking at how population growth has been for Africa with the world, you realize that in 1950, the world population was 2.5 billion. Africa was only 230 million. That was 9%. In 2015, the world population at 7.3 billion. Africa was 1.2 billion, a population of 16% of the world. By 2050, we're looking at a world population of 9.5 billion, with Africa being 2.4 billion, and that will be 25% of the world population. So you can see the rise of Africa's population growth. And every nation that develops based on their people. The more people they have in numbers, they're able to produce a lot, be able to take over the world. So this is an advantage that we have, and also a challenge, because if we don't deal with the challenges that we face today and tomorrow, then this will become a serious one we can't even handle. Beside all these challenges we face, the most powerful weapon that we could have used to change or fix our problem, which is STEM education, unfortunately, we have only 3% of African students pursuing STEM-related programs. And this is as a result of our cultural biases, stereotypes, limited access to quality STEM education, and shortage of role models. When you ask every child today, who do you want to become? They want to see the person who is at the top, mostly popular, and does not include a lot of our scientists. It's either a footballer, a lawyer, a politician. I think most of them will go for politician. Because that looks to be the fancy job today for every young person. But politicians are not going to fix our problems, because they are not meant to fix them, right? So we need to ensure that we can get a lot of our students to pursue STEM-related programs. Now, another challenge we face is these devils. I'm sure you heard of AI and the jobs they are taking away. They are not alone. We have a lot of these new technologies, and every day in and out, they are new coming out. So these technologies are also going to reshape, or they've started reshaping our future, taking away all traditional structures, jobs, among others, hence making our problems more difficult for us. Now, these are some predictions or reports from McKinsey Global. They said by 2030, 6 years from now, we're going to have a global population of 800 million people losing their jobs. And does not include Africa. These are the developed countries. So even developed countries with infrastructure, with the resources and all that, they are going to displace their own people with technology. Then imagine us with no job, right? Now the question becomes, these young people that are coming, the same year, 2030, we're going to have a larger population of young people coming from school. Every year in Ghana, you have about 120,000 graduates coming out of school. Only 20% get jobs. And the AI are taking away the already existing jobs. What kind of jobs are they going to be doing? Can we be able to handle the challenges that come with all this development? And not having enough people pursuing STEM career, how are we going to solve all the problems we face? Regardless, we also have another challenge when it comes to research and development. Every nation that invests a lot in research and development becomes superpower. It started with Europe discovering Africa. It was a research. They financed people to come and explore Africa, and the reward was take all the resources. That was a return on their investment, right? Now today, research has become the cornerstone for every innovation development, and it's very sad that only 1% of African researchers contribute to the world research activities. It means that we need to start having a lot of people or students developing career in the area of research, so that they can be able to look at the problems we face in our society, work on them, come with innovation that can be built into industries and economies. So if we are not able to increase our research space, will not be able to have new innovation, will not be able to have solutions to address our problems. Now there's a paradigm shift, thanks to God, or whatever you believe. There's a paradigm shift, there's a change, and there's IoT Network Hub. Our organization, we believe we are the community of the future. We've seen the challenges of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and we are preparing ourselves to ensure that we be able to prepare as many young people to be able to deal with the challenges that we face, and also create a better world for everyone. At IoT Network Hub, we are pioneering transformation across the continent. And our sole purpose is to understand these new technologies that are going to take away our jobs. We need to understand them very well, empower ourselves with them, and then use the same tools to create more jobs and opportunities for everyone. Our vision is to be a catalyst of change for Africa's development in the next industrial revolution. When you look at the history of the world of revolution, we've gone through a series of them. We're currently experiencing the fourth industrial revolution. There's going to be more. We need to be able to have a new breed of citizens who are conscious about this trend, so that every time there's a revolution, they'll be preparing the younger generation for the future ahead. And that's our vision. Our mission is to be able to impact billion lives on the continent in the next years to come. We came up with our IoT Vision 2050, and the short of it all is to be able to harness these technologies to impact billions of African lives. If you look at 2050, it's not so far from here. It's just about 26 or 24, no, 26 years. Well, how old would we be by 26 years time to come, right? So that's the world we're going to be living in. We're going to have kids. Have you start to think about what kind of job they'll be doing? Where would they live? So these are very, very interesting questions we have to start looking at. And at IoT, we want to ensure that our kids will be happy and proud to live in Ghana and not cross the border or walk on desert or walk on the or be in a boat on the ocean, risk their life just to have a better life. What if we can create that better life here so that every child in Africa would not have to even leave the continent? That's something we're pursuing. Now, all these technologies, including AI, quantum computing, blockchain, powering cryptocurrencies, and all that, Internet of Things is going to connect everything to the internet. Everything's going to be smart. So in the era where even machines and dumb stuff like our shoes are becoming smart, we don't have a choice as humans to not be smarter, right? In an era where we're going to have cloud computing, 5G, and all that, all these new technologies are going to converge to create new economy, new industries. Just like some few years ago, there was nothing like Uber or Uber drivers. It's a new economy, it's a new industry. We're going to see a lot of such coming up. And all these technologies are going to make that happen. So we also need to ensure that we understand them very well, we build capacity in them, and be able to create new economies, new industries, new jobs for us as well. And that's what we seek to achieve with our vision. Our approach to achieving this vision is to start with community. So if we look at the history and culture of Africa, we are community driven. That's how we are. We are not individualism. Everything revolves around us. Whether in tradition, in tribe, in religion, everything boils down to community. So we built a very large community with about 20 to 50,000 people across the continent in 20 African countries. And our goal is to ensure that we can inspire young people, empower them with the technologies and tools for them to be able to also solve the problems they face in their society. We also do a lot of human capital development, that's training. We do a lot of research, innovation, development as well. When it comes to community building, our goal is to create the enabling environment. Every kid is born genius and creative till they grow. Then they lose all those powers through the system that we are all brought up through. So it's our goal that we can create an environment where young people can be excited to do what they feel they have the potential to do and not what system want them to learn. Our community activities include our clubs. We have clubs or chapters in 20 African countries. In the university campuses, we have our chapters. And within the regions to all the regions of Ghana, we have chapters that are running activities. We do community meetups. It's a gathering once a month to bring people together to learn about new technologies, have exposure, meet people, find like-minded, and then start something together, among other activities. So these are some images from some of our community meetups. Yep. So this was just this month. So this month, it was on the 4th of November, and it's free for everybody to participate in it. So if all these are technologies going to create opportunities, new jobs. So we expose you to it, you develop interest, you pick your career or a skill in it, and then you build yourself up to stay relevant. All right. Outside the community, bringing people together is very important to our mission. But the important thing is raising the new breed of leaders in the all space of the industries. So we do a lot of training to ensure that you can have the tools, discover yourself, find the potential you have, and use it or contribute it to solving the problems of Africa. So these are some of the skills or training programs that we do. Importantly is thinking and spirituality. I think this is not taught in the classroom. I mean, who was taught how to think in the classroom? Nobody, right? So you ask yourself, you have the powerful weapon and engine in your head, and you're never trained how to use it. Just like having a gun or a nuclear bomb, and you're not trained how to use that bomb, right? So that's what is happening to us with our educational system. Right? We also don't have education on financial intelligence, emotional intelligence. Why do we go to school? To have skill. Why skill? So we can get a job and get what? Get money. How much of money are we taught in the classroom from crèche to university? So we spend all our life, about 25 years of our life, and work extra 30 years of our life just to make money. And we have no knowledge about money, right? So when it comes to our programs, we teach you stuff that schools will not teach you. And once you begin to have this knowledge and understanding, it makes your life better, right? Okay. So these are some images from some of our training programs that we have, from kids to junior, tertiary, among everyone. And this is also one young lady who wanted to become an engineer. After junior high school, it took 2 weeks of our training, and she built a smart dustbin. So the bins that are smart, you get closer to it, they're open for you to drop. And these are all basic stuff every kid can learn. And that's how we can build our country, by ensuring that we give them practical education, that when they learn, they can do something with it. They don't have to get to the university to build stuff like this. And these are some training tools with some students. We teach AI robotics, virtual reality. Our boss mentioned that there will be a session on VR, so you're going to have experience. And these things are new technologies that also make experiences very easy. So for example, with a VR headset, you can have an experience, travel all over the world while you're sitting here. You don't have to move a step, right? So all these technologies are going to change experiences, tourism, education, and all that. And it's very important that we understand where these technologies are going and making sure we also build our lives and business along. This is a trend we did in Gambia. We have a chapter 2 in Gambia, so we have our program and activities running in Gambia. So we partner with the organization whose goal is to build STEM labs or STEAM labs for rural communities. And at their lab, you'll be surprised where these labs are. Places where some probably might not even have access to full electricity, and these labs are powered with solar. And what the students have access to are 3D printers, VR that even Accra, most people, I wouldn't say most people, a lot of people will not even have experienced it. You go to these villages in town, they have that. We have education on it. If you want to learn about respiratory system, circulatory system, we don't need to open a live human being for them to see how blood is pumped. With VR, they can have all these experiences. They also have 3D printers. So this is a group. It's a junior high school from Nkonya in the OT region. And based on the lab and resources they have in their learning, they build a smart water dispenser. You take the car closer to the water, a sensor senses it, the water flows. Then after it gets full, it sends the depth of it to, once it's full, it stops. And these are junior high school students, right? Among others. This is also another group from Takwa Bogoso in the upper western region. They built an airplane using their Lego kits. They 3D printed a drone, and then they built a solar tracker. So we have sunlight in abundance, but our solar system are fixed. And when the sun rays changes, you can't change the solar to attract the sunlight. They built a smart one. When the sun direction changes, the solar would adapt to face the sun. And these are the kind of things that kids are all thinking about. This is also a team from junior high school in Tamale. They tackle hatching in poultry. So they built a smart incubator. It has a detector here to check the viability of the egg. You put the egg here, and if it's bad, it will tell you it's bad. So once it check it and it pass it, you put it in there, and then it hatches for you. This is also another team from Tiabodom in the Bono East region. They use 3D printer to design their own globe for education, for learning. They printed the educational stuff, the mathematical set and all that. And you see the house over there, also designed by them and 3D printed. So these are all knowledge and skills that even university students who are doing computer science engineering might not have that practical knowledge, and they are junior high school, they are having it. I was happy to see one of the guy here. He is coming from one of the labs, and after junior high school, he's straight at DTI. Right, he already have the basics. Now he come to build up his skill. After DTI, he gets into the industry. Doesn't have to spend 4 years in the university again, or even 3 years in senior high school. So that shortens the lifespan of learning that he has to go through. So that's where the future is going. It's very important that we pay attention to it. Now, finally, our last approach is research, innovation, development. After we have a community bringing potentials together and empower them with the knowledge and skill, they should be able to put that resources to effective use. And that's where research and development come in. So with our research and innovation, we're looking at having innovation labs where every kid, every student, everybody with ideas can walk in and then be able to build a concept of what they're looking at building. We're also looking at having venture studio. That means we need to start building or breeding new startups. So we need to start building AI startup, robotic startup, VR startups, all the new technologies that are coming up. We need to start building our own startups. This is what happens if we don't build our own technologies and startups. We're going to import all the robots here to take all our jobs. We just have to sit there and watch them. Just like we experience with our chocolate and cocoa scenario, we cultivate all the cocoa, but we don't even take Milo. How many of you took Milo this morning? But the cocoa is coming from your soil, and our stress, and our sweat. So that's the same thing that's going to happen with the new technologies that are coming, that if we don't start developing and producing our own innovation, we'll have to import all of them, and then they will take everything we have in data. The future with all these technologies are information data. And if you don't own the data, they're going to refine it and sell it back to you, just like cocoa and chocolate. So it's very important that we start looking at all the sectors of our economy that are very important to us, agriculture, education, healthcare, among others, and see how best we can use these technologies to build innovations that will support our economy. If not, we'll all be doomed. When it comes to innovation, these are some images from our exhibition booth where we exhibit some of the innovation and projects we're working on under IoT. So I'm sure some of you or most of you have heard about the humanoid robot called Sophia in the Saudi Arabia. So today, Sophia or Sophia has access to citizenship. What it means is that it has freedom of speech and all the rights that human being has. The machine also have it. Very soon, it's coming for our jobs. And remember that robots don't go on vacation, no leaves, they don't close, no complain, and they work 24/7. So every business is going to be competitive and always going to go for technology over human being. So these are some of the challenges that we're facing that we have to start looking at. Okay. So in Ghana here too, we started building our own technologies. These are some of the prototypes that we've designed. These are all IoT devices to collect data and process them with AI among others. When COVID-19 came, we also saw the rise of Renica buckets everywhere. It became a roster. So one thing we learned based on our research was that the bucket was open to public, everybody was using it, and you have to touch the tap, wash your hand, and then touch it back again. So if the tap is infected and you touch it, you wash everything away, but you have to touch it to close the tap. So you still carry the virus with you. So we came out with a smart one with a sensor here. So as you can see, there's a sensor here. You put your hands beneath it, it sends your hands, the water flows. You wash for 20 seconds, the water ceases. You take off your hand. So these are basic innovation that we built during COVID. And these innovations that we built got featured by United Nations magazine in 2020. Got featured by Forbes magazine. Got on BBC, among other media platforms across the world. Our next flagship commercial product is a STEM Aid Kit. Our goal is to ensure that every student on the continent have access to practical learning. For that reason, we needed to design it too. Because one of the things that comes to STEM education is resources, low-cost resources. Ghana, we are good with policies. We have the best policies on the continent, but very poor in execution. So most countries pick our policy and then get it done. Right. So our job is to ensure that at IoT, with this kit, we want to ensure that every kid had access to practical learning, and they can build over 200 experiments with this. They'll learn coding in the process. So if every kid have access to this, that means we're going to have a new breed of Ghanaians who are already born thinking. right? They'll be able to solve problems and deal with other challenges that we face. So this is a circuit board designed in Ghana. As you can see there, it's made in Ghana. It's unique. There's no circuit in the world that looks like this shape. So we're the first to do such a design. And our goal is to inspire the love for STEM. And this board comes with our kits. Imagine we start mass producing this in Ghana. Every school has it. We can create over 1,000 jobs for young people. We need to train them on how to assemble this in Ghana and then be able to produce them as well. So the opportunities to create more jobs with these technologies are already there. We just have to empower ourselves, pick a problem, put our energy in it, and then we can create a new industries for tomorrow. Now, IoT Vision 2050, it looks like fiction, but it's not. We're working on a roadmap to making this a reality, and this is the kind of Africa we're imagining. Yeah, I hope you all like it. If you live here, I'm not sure you want to even move a step away from your environment, right? And this can be possible because other countries are doing it. Take Singapore, for example. In 1957, when Singapore had an independent, we also had independent. Our street was full of gold. We had cocoa. We have all that. But today, look at us and compare to Singapore. Even waste, they have to import waste because they don't have any waste, right? They have developed so much that they can't even begin to imagine what happened to Ghana when Singapore was developing. Take British, after the World War II, they were one of the poorest country in the world. Now look at British, even their currency is the largest and biggest in the world today. So there's something wrong with the African environment, maybe our minds, that we need to start changing it, and start by imagining a new future that we want to see and see how best we can get there. This concept design, if you heard about Akon, the musician, Senegalese, this is a city he's building in Senegal. So if you want to believe it's not possible, somebody is doing it in Senegal. Right? That's the Akon city concept. It means that we have all whatever it takes. As long as we can imagine it, we can be able to build it. Now, to be able to execute our Vision 2050, we needed a vehicle that would drive us. And this vehicle is a billion African dreams. Initially, we call it bad. People started saying bad is bad. So we added X. And that we made it worse, the baddest. Then we said, yes, maybe bad isn't really bad. What if bad is how we see it, but bad is good? Just like our continent. It's the richest continent in the world. Well, if we are poor, why are they taking our gold and oil? They should leave the poor people to deal with their resources. So it means maybe there's something we're not seeing right. So baddest is going to be the vehicle to drive our dreams of making sure we can build that future we're going to envision. And our dream with baddest is to be able to put happiness on every single African's child. You see their smile? We are the only continent with people who you can see all their 32 teeth when they smile. That's the beauty of Africa, one of them. Right. So we're going to have billions of these lives coming up to join our continents, and their future is at stake. Even ours is at stake, but not to talk about theirs. Right. So the Billion African Dream Project, X for exploration, we're going to be hunting for ideas, moonshot ideas. So moonshot are ambitious ideas that seems impossible, like putting a human being on the moon some years back, which it was literally impossible, but then now it made it possible, and now space travel, space exploration, space hotel, space honeymoon is going to be something everybody will be getting very soon. Right. So we want to ensure that we can come up with ideas, solutions, so that we can create the Africa that we imagine. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the future is here, and we are the architect of our destiny. I'm sure we all know architects. Before a building is brought up, somebody in her small corner have to first see that building in his head, then spend so many hours molding that building in the mind. And when they have a clear picture of it, they have to produce a physical evidence or sight of it before it's being built. Now we're going to make sure that we're going to create our own concept of how we want Africa to look like, and then we're going to start building it together. I'll be wrapping up with a couple of quotes by Eno Roosevelt. He said the future belongs to those who believes in the beauty of their dreams. I'm sure we all sleep, and when we sleep, we dream dreams. When you sleep and you like the dreams, you don't want to wake up because it's so beautiful that you don't want to mix it. So if we're going to build a future, it has to be a future that we believe in the beauty of it. Just like you saw the picture and I saw your face, that if this is Africa, probably want to die in your room, not in the hospital, and not be buried, right? But we're going to make it happen. I have a challenge too for everyone in the room. I need you to write this down. And every morning when you wake up, you ask yourself, if not now, then when? Well, if you don't build a future now, then when are we even going to start? And if it's not us, then who is coming to build it? Because nobody really cares about us. So every morning you wake up, you ask yourself, if not now, then when? If not us, then who? It's very important.
Beautiful.
All right. So lastly, I'm a man of quotes because quotes are very powerful messages carried by great men in our world. So this is a quote by the leader of Dubai. I'm sure we all know the story of Dubai. It was a desert, very, very hostile, very, very hot. I must not say warm. Warm is an understatement. And now Dubai is the heart of all businesses and commerce and tourism in the world. And it's everybody's dream to go to Dubai. But there's one thing we've forgotten. We never stop to ask, how does a desert become the heart of a place everyone wants to visit? So these are all concepts that different nations are building. China is building their dream future, how they want China to look. Singapore is also doing another one. Dubai and Saudi Arabia, they are pursuing a project called NEOM. You can read about it. They are building a whole new heaven. Yes. And the reason they are doing that is that the leaders are visionary. So as our boss mentioned earlier, that when it comes to the dream, the African dream, it should be visionary, it should have some values, some aspirations and all that. Currently, they have a minister for happiness and well-being, whose job is to ensure that the people of Dubai and Saudi Arabia are being happy. They have a minister for artificial intelligence because they've seen that the future is towards these technologies. And they are making or preparing themselves for that. Now, one thing he said was that very soon they will export the last barrel of their oil. And when that happens, they want to be ready to make sure that whatever would be driving the world, they had already invested and prepared for that. So our gold, our timber, our oil, they will not last forever. But if we invest into technology, scientific research, and exploration, that's what is going to develop our nation. So he said, the future, again, belongs to those who can imagine it. Imagination is a very powerful weapon we all have. That's a good thing about human being. Animals can't imagine anything. But human beings have that ability to imagine everything and make it happen. So we should be able to imagine the future that we want. We should be able to design that future. And most importantly, we should be able to execute it. And this is something we have to wait for someone to come and do for us because nobody's coming. And we need to create it now. I'll give you some 6 pointers. I also encourage you to write it down. When you have some time, try to read about it. If you have challenges reading too, I can give you a tool, an AI tool that can help you learn faster and quicker. So make sure we don't leave here with problems, only solutions. Okay. So according to one of my mentors, he mentioned that the human superpowers, what makes people great, like we've seen people like Elon Musk being able to do what seems impossible. And all his businesses are solving problems even experienced people in the industry, scientists had proven that it's not possible, and he made it possible. He is a human being with 10 fingers, born in South Africa too, even though his skin is white. Africa was born in him. So he's a product of Africa. Right. Now, one of the companies he has built is Tesla. He imagined a future where cars will be charged with electricity instead of pumping fuel in them. People said it was not possible. Today, it has become a luxury and the rich are buying that. And very soon, it's going to be on our streets. Beyond that, he's also making them autopilot at the state. At the current state, this car can drive themselves, still with wheels, but very soon there'll be no wheels, and this car will be driving themselves with AI. The second company he has built, same man, is SpaceX. He had a vision of making human being multi-planetary species. What it means is that he designed a future or imagined a future where we can live on 2 planets at the same time. So his goal was to colonize Mars, and to do that, he has to solve one big problem. How to be able to get rockets to space and bring it back safely without blowing it, because that's what they've been doing for so many years. And that makes it very expensive. With science and technology, he made that possible. And today, he's able to send rockets to space, bring it back safely, cutting down the cost for traveling. And that's why very soon, maybe our kids might be having a hotel in space for honeymoon. Because right now, if you want to go to space, it's about $150,000, which is expensive. But as technology gets advanced and the cost becomes cheaper, everybody will be able to travel with the rockets. That's not all, but I'll not tell you all the companies is doing. So what I'm trying to say is that he's not a human being than us. All right. He might have resources, but resources everywhere too, if you have a determined mind. So I'm going to show you or tell you or explain to you, or I'm going to share a secret of our 6 superpowers, that if you're able to develop it, you also have these powers to do everything you set up your mind to do. So the first one is perception. So there's a saying that when you change the way you see the world you see changes. That means our world is created as a result of how we see it, how we imagine it. If we're able to change our perception, we can create any world that we want. The second one is reasoning. God has blessed us, whatever you believe in, God, universe, nature, whatever, it doesn't matter. But whatever you believe in, if it's God, has blessed you with a very powerful mind for thinking. So it's not everything you have to pray to God, because God has already given you the answer, waiting for you to take an action. So our mind should be able to help us to reason. If you're able to put your mind to thinking, there's no problem you can't solve. The third one will be intuition. Intuition too are the small voices in our head that we ignore every day. If we're able to listen to it, it has access to intelligence and knowledge. And we need to train ourselves to be able to listen to our intuition. The fourth one will be imagination. One thing you should pay attention to, all these things are in our mind, or in our brain, if I should say. That means our big head has a lot of weapons that we are not even using it. Imagination. So imagination is everything. If you can imagine it, you can build it. So whatever it is you want to achieve or do, problem you want to solve, if you can imagine a solution, that's how it starts. You'll be able to build that solution. What number are we? 5. And then the sixth one will be memory. We have the most powerful and limitless storage when it comes to information. It means that learning shouldn't cease. You're able to always learn as many things as possible because we have unlimited storage. So all these 6 superpowers, if you're able to develop them, there's nothing you can do. Thank you. If there are a couple of questions you want to take, I like questions, please. Especially a tough one, so that I can exercise my 6 superpowers. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm the only one. I had 5.
Okay, so which one do you have?
I have perception, imagination, reasoning, intuition, and memory.
Okay, interesting. Who has 6? You all had 5. Okay. Then let me go back to my memory. So we have perception, we have reasoning, we have imagination, we have intuition. What was the last one? Memory? There's a 6th one. I'll get it. I'll start recalling my memory to remind me of it before we leave here.
Maybe perseverance.
Sorry. Oh, you brought it up. When you mentioned perseverance, it triggered. So it's will. WILL, willpower. Yeah. So when you have this willpower, nothing can stop you. When you say you're going to get this done, that power makes sure it drives you to get it done. Good reminder. So that's the power of memory. With a little trigger, you can go back and then check the folder and then put the record out. Yeah. So please question if there are any questions. Yes, please.
It's not a question, actually. I just want to commend the initiative. I see it's, I would say it's a good one because it's African centered, right? Because what I see these days is a lot of people come in with tech innovations and they just want to ship you out
Right.
of Africa to other countries. But I would say that this is beautiful and
Thank you.
keep it up.
Thank you.
We hope the government supports you. That's very important.
The good news is we are not waiting for them, and we don't care about them.
You don't have to because that's a major stop
Right.
for you.
Nothing
right?
is going to stop
So
us.
if you don't rely on the
Them.
government,
Yeah.
way to go. I mean, the sky is just a starting point.
That's right.
So all the best. All the best.
To all of us.
Yes.
Any more questions? Okay, so who are excited about the future? Okay, please, you go ahead.
So I want to ask how you reach out to people.
Okay.
You have very specific places to go or anywhere that comes to your mind and where you reach.
Okay. So we use a couple of platforms. So I think we are the only organization in the world with the largest WhatsApp group. So when we started in 2016, WhatsApp group limit was about 256 participants. And we built our own platform. By the time WhatsApp was new, it was easy for communicating on WhatsApp. So our members didn't like to install a new app when they can just get information on WhatsApp. So we started WhatsApp, and then our first group within a few days it was full. So we thought this is going to be serious. We wrote to WhatsApp that they should extend our group for us. They said that can be possible. So we heard about Telegram. Then we created Telegram. The sad thing was nobody wanted to move to Telegram. The COVID came. So we were still on WhatsApp. So we started creating a lot of groups. And then we started just here in Accra. Because our plan was just to bring young people in Accra together to learn. Then we have people coming from different regions attending our meetup. Then we thought, why don't we bring the program to you? So we started creating the local chapters. Also have their own WhatsApp groups. So Accra has their WhatsApp groups, Kumasi, and all the 16 regions we have here. Then at our program too, we have people coming from the campuses. So when they're vacation, they come our programs. And then when they went back to school, they want to take it along. So we started creating chapters and groups for the various university campuses as well. Then we started having some African students who are studying in Ghana attend our program. After our vacation and graduation, they want to take it to their country. Then we started expanding to Kenya, among others. So most of our activities are around WhatsApp because of our communication to be able to spread the message easy and quickly. And then we have a Telegram group. We have our website, iotnetworkhub.org. We're on all the social platforms, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, X, and Facebook. Yeah, so that's how basically we reach out to our members. Our goal from next year is to have clubs in all the senior high schools in Ghana. And then from there, we'll move to junior high schools. So we get to every corner where every child can have access to practical learning. Yeah. And then I'll be happy you become an evangelist to spread the gospel as well. So that's the role I took in 2016 to preach about the future. And I've been doing this for 7 years. Yeah, just for IoT. Yeah. So I don't know if I answered your question. Yeah. So basically, we use the tools that our target audience are already using and love to use and can't sleep without them. It's easier that way for us. Yeah. Please, any further question?
I have one.
I didn't get a picture in my Africa dress.
Oh, I did make
You
a
had
picture.
one, eh?
Oh,
Okay,
definitely.
that's good news.
And we have also a great camera.
Oh, okay, okay, great, great.
On this. So, I have one question more of the, I see ingenious invention made by young students
Right.
that just get in touch with technology. And I saw a couple of brilliant ideas actually. How are you marketing them? And how are you trying to present them, let's say, to the bigger audience? Because I think just by, let's say, the touchless washing, that's something that you can bring into the market and that will help in sanitation
Right.
of a lot of in a lot of rural areas.
Right. So when we started IoT, the organization, our goal wasn't to go into business. Uh, we were even registered as a non-for-profit. This was back in 2019 that we did registration. So it took us about 3 years before even we decided we want to register this organization because we didn't know what we had started. We didn't know how it was going to turn out. So we just meet, have fun, learn something new, and go home. That was the goal. So after 2019, it started got serious. I think it started in 2018 when we had an invite by the Internet Society to come to Kenya to talk about work. When I went there, my perception changed about what we were doing because to us it was just fun. To them, it was something serious we're doing. So that's what I talk about perception. So when I got to Kenya, I did my presentation on IoT, what we're doing here, and the people were so excited and they said they want to have one there. And that's what led to the Pan-Africanism. Our goal wasn't to go anywhere, just stay in Accra, do our stuff. But when they were showing interest that they want to also have a chapter there, then we had our first chapter, Kenya. So after Kenya, I was like, if Kenya like it, then maybe all our brothers also might want it. Then we started reaching out to friends and family from there. Then COVID came, and then COVID came with those amazing inventions. It was actually a lot, but because of the time, I had to put only the buckets.
Yeah, no,
So when COVID came, we were under lockdown
yeah.
for a whole week in Accra. And one of the things we started asking ourselves was, we said we are the community of the future, we do research, what can we do to help with COVID? And that's what we started brainstorming and these ideas came up. Now, when we designed all that, our goal wasn't also not to commercialize at the time because we were registered as NGO. But then people interest in, they wanted to buy. We had a form, a lot of people signed up, they're ready to pay for the bucket, pay for face shield that we designed among others. That also communicated that if we're able to build something commercial, people will love to buy. Now in 2022, we were there and then governments reached out to us that there's a program, they've seen the work we're doing, so we should apply and they'll give us some grants. So we applied in 2020 or 2021, and then we made it through. And then for the first time in 6 years, we had a financial support. But we've been running this on our own for 6 years before we had the grant. Now, when the grant came, the goal of the grant was to create jobs for young people. I'm not sure if everybody here know of USTAT. Have you heard of USTAT? Yes. So those who are aware of USTAT, we're one of the entrepreneurs that were picked by the nation to pilot the program. So when we went into that program, we had training, we had the money. And because it was taxpayers' money, people sweat, we wanted to make sure that we can also account for it, even though it was a grant.
Yeah.
And that's what led to this product.
Wow.
Because we needed to ensure that as NGO, we can do commercial activities. Can we produce something commercial that we can register as a business to be able to produce and sustain and create more jobs? So that led to a new company called StayMade. So StayMade focus is to design learning materials for our students. The reason why we picked this problem was because if we're going to create job for the nation, we need to look at what is causing the unemployment. And when we did our research, we realized that it was the kind of education they're receiving. If you give them theories and then they all come out in a world where skills are needed, then they will not be able to work. So we decided that we're going to design kits for primary, junior, high school. Then we're going to pick graduates and train them to do the training. So in this way, we solve two problems. We are addressing the educational, the roots cause, that's the practical education, they have it. Now those who are not employed yet, we train them and then they go to teach in the schools. So this is a model that we've been running for a year now, and it has been very successful. As I'm speaking with you, we sold 400 units of the kits, and now going to sell more next year going. The presidential pitch this year too, we apply with the same projects, and we made it to top 30 and got some financial support. So it also communicates that the work that we're doing has potential.
Definitely.
Right. So when it comes to your question, the conclusion I want to say is that IoT as an organization is a non-for-profit. Our mission is for impact, but through our R&Ds and innovation, we're going to focus on commercial research that after we're done, we can spin off into a new company or sell to a company or license to them to commercialize it so that we can be able to sustain our operation as well. Yeah.
Because seeing also the very essence of research and development, most are non-for-profit.
Yes, exactly.
Our foundations.
That's right.
Things. So I think that's a really interesting model to be had if you also look at the Western models.
That's right.
So sounds good.
Right.
Great. I'm very enthusiastic.
I'm excited you are.
It's on my honor to be faithful and loyal to Ghana, my motherland.
1, 2.
I promise on my honor to be faithful and loyal to Ghana, my motherland. I pledge myself to the service of Ghana with all my strength and with all my heart. I promise to hold in high esteem our heritage won for us through the blood and soul of our fathers. And I pledge myself in all things to uphold and defend the good name of Ghana. So help me God.
How does it feel?